Hi friends, today I want to talk to you about a tea that I use when I am dealing with Lyme flares. So I've got it steeping right now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what is in this blend of herbs. So it has cat's claw. That's something I purchased, and it's for inflammation. It's also for your immune system. And that's what we want to attack when we have these flares. We want to keep our immune system strong. We also have corn silk in it, and that corn silk comes from the actual corn on the cob. I cut off the ends after we've peeled the corn. I cut off the ends, and then I dry it. We don't eat a lot of corn on the cob in the summertime, but we eat enough where I can collect enough to make herbal tea with. That helps with the immune system, arthritis, and any urinary issues that you might have due to Lyme disease. Podarco is another herb, and that's for arthritis and pain and inflammation that you might experience. That is an herb that I actually purchased because I don't have it here growing. Dandelion leaf, peppermint leaf, and ginger. As you know, these things are good for your immune system and other benefits. And with Lyme disease, we want to keep our immune system strong. Now, I could change this blend up. This is my particular blend because it works for me. Now, I have thought about changing it up, but I haven't done it yet. And there are some other herbs I can put in here to make it more healing. And it could be knotweed, Japanese knotweed. Yesterday I shared with you that I make a tincture with Japanese knotweed, and I got that from, I ended up foraging for that. I found a place, I got permission, and I foraged for that. And Japanese knotweed is everywhere. I was like surprised once I figured out what it was, and I always see it everywhere now. So another thing is stevia. Now, I don't put stevia actually in my tea. I actually put it in afterwards, so it's in there, but in addition to the blend. And the reason is because some people don't like stevia. So if I was sharing this with somebody else who had Lyme disease, they might not like stevia, so I don't put it in at all. And I just figured if they want a sweetener, they can do it. But do you need a sweetener with this tea? Not at all. So the other thing is stinging nettle. That helps as well. Teasel root, turmeric, cayenne, cistus, and a few other herbs. Now I don't put turmeric in this either, and I do have the turmeric root, and you can buy it in your grocery store. I don't put it in here because I make the powdered capsules that I take every day. And I take 2 every day, and then if my pain levels are high, I just kind of up it and take a couple more throughout the day. So this tea has my mixture, the original mixture blend that I shared, and then I actually added in some stevia into this as well. And this is just about ready. So this is a real nice, delightful tea. I find it to be comfortable, comforting, I guess is the word. I can sit back when I'm not feeling great, drink this tea, and I just feel like I'm cared for. And I think when you have Lyme disease, and honestly, it's not as bad as it has been, so I feel more empowered because I've come on this journey and I found things to help me along the way, more so during the flares. And I am hoping that once the sun comes out a little bit more, these flares will subside. And yes, when we don't get enough vitamin D, enough sunshine, our Lyme flares can kind of come out. And so that's why I'm kind of excited that spring is around the corner. Okay, it's only beginning of February, but it's around the corner. So let's see how this tea, this has been steeping for about 8-10 minutes now. And I'm excited about it because I enjoy it, and I had one earlier today. So, and what I like about it, it tastes amazing. And for somebody who might not like tea out there, but you like soda, this is a better alternate. All the sugars that are in your soda, you really shouldn't be having if you have a Lyme disease type virus or any bugs that are actually making you sick. Even when you're sick with the flu or the cold, you really want to use herbs. And this one is fabulous for Lyme disease. It's actually really good for when you have flu or cold or any viruses that are going around. So I never turn my nose away from herbal teas because I find them to be great. So this is in my Be still mug. I don't know if you can see that. And on the back it says, be still and know that I am God. And that's Psalms 46:10. And that's what I'm drinking too. So I hope this was informative. I know that some people might not be able to use these herbs. And that's the other thing I want to address before I go and I enjoy this tea, is that these herbs I have discovered, they work for me. I don't have an allergy to any of these things. Now, say you had an allergy to, say, the corn silk. I wouldn't recommend drying it. That would be a waste of your time and it wouldn't be good for your health. So you could make a blend or you could order a blend specific to what you want with the options that are available. Now, one thing I would want you to do before you try making a blend, make sure those herbs you don't have a reaction to. Because the last thing you want to do is spend money on herbs or spend time in the garden harvesting herbs that you will not benefit from. So you want to make sure that, number one. Number two, if you are on medication, whether it's Lyme disease or any other condition that your physician is treating you for, don't go off your medications. Go to your physician and share with them what you would like to try. Do you think the doctors will approve something like this? I do. And I got approval. My doctor was all for me using herbs. But it was very important for me not to go cold turkey on all the medications that he had me on. I had to go off them little by little. And he didn't like that I went off it because he knew that the antibiotics would do its best for me. But I was having a lot of Herxheimer reactions. And generally speaking, as long as you stay on your medication like 2 to 4 weeks or whatever, those symptoms should subside. But some of the treatments made me feel so sick, as if I had the flu times 2. It was unbearable. And that's where we find out that you have allergies or sensitivities to different medications. And it might not actually be the medication. It could be the fillers. It could be other things. And if you look at a lot of medications, you will discover that some of them have side effects. Sadly, with pharmaceuticals, when you take them, you run that risk. So you got to kind of weigh, what is it that you're trying to do? The medication, I was so sick, yes, I took it. And it was scary. I didn't want to do it. But I started looking into the herbs. What could I do so I didn't have to use the medications? Do I think going herbs right from the get-go would have done the difference? I really don't know what to say about that. I don't think so, because it was so long in the process before a doctor finally recognized what was going on. So I didn't even know what I was doing. I was working with herbs, trying to relieve different things, but I didn't know what I was fighting. So sometimes once we have the right medication and we start working against the this particular one is a bacteria, but once we start working it, we can start feeling better. Now, I didn't ever get to be 100% until I was able to get off the antibiotics and start using herbs. Am I regretful for those antibiotics? I don't think so, because you know something? I was really sick. And now it's just, I'm hoping I don't have to go back on them, and I'm just kind of praying I don't, and I'm hoping it's just a flare. And I'm hoping that as long as I stay on top of it, I will be fine. And I believe I will be fine. So why I'm telling you that is because some people, when they find out that they're allergic or there's something else going on, and then I'm getting rid of the medications. I agree with you. Let's get rid of the medications if they're not serving you. But some medications, you can have a real bad side effect if you go off too soon. And with antibiotics, I'm not too sure, but because sometimes you get them for an infection, you're on it for 5 to 10 days, depending on the type of infection that you might be on. But for Lyme disease, when you're using multiple antibiotics, you're attacking the different bugs, the different spear sheets, the different bacterium that's in it. And I started to share a little bit, and I don't think I made it clear. What happens when you're being treated with antibiotics is that they go in and it starts attacking the bacterium, the spare sheets that are already in the open. And it's like, whoa, what are you doing? So it kills a bunch and the rest go into hiding. It's like, nope, it's not going to get me. So what happens is your doctor will switch out your antibiotic for another one. And what it is, it's a battle against the bacteria against the antibiotics. A lot of people do not like prescribing this many antibiotics to a patient. But I have to say it did work, but I had a lot of sensitivity. And every time I went back, every 2 months, I would just tell them, I'm too tired. But I was getting better. I was getting better, but I was exhausted. So when I finally went off all of this, I had a great support from my physician and I kept going back to him. But I feel better being off. Now, like I said yesterday, I'm not sure if I'm going to have to go back to him. I'm just trying to fight what's going on right now, and hopefully I won't have to. So I hope you liked the recipe. Can I get you some? Yes. But right now you need to know, can you have these type herbs, and what kind of blend would you need? Would you need, are you allergic to cat's claw? Are you allergic to corn silk? Padaco, dandelion leaf, peppermint leaf, ginger, or any other ones. There are a lot of herbs that are very beneficial for Lyme disease. Some people have their products, their tinctures and stuff that they make, and they say this will kill the bacteria. I was reading more today, and there's a doctor who is using essential oils. Essential oils are made totally different than herbs. Herbs are growing naturally through the earth. And I love essential oils. Do not get me wrong. So I'm going to be following his study because I find that essential oils are dangerous for us to consume. Now, I do use essential oils. I make my own perfume. I do things with moisturizers and stuff like that. But I don't use essential oils to consume. They have to be a certain thing, and you have to use them very limited. So I'm kind of confused as to why he's saying essential oils. Tinctures, yes, those are very beneficial, and they're more concentrated. So what you do is you basically take, I could make a tincture of this, put this in a jar, cover it with like vodka or a very high level of alcohol, and then you just let it steep for like 6 to 8 weeks, and then you can have tinctures so you don't have to have tea. Now, I like the tea, but would I use tinctures? Yeah, I make tinctures all the time for different things, and this is a good idea that maybe I might do so that I can have it with me if I go anywhere. Plus, if I'm having a different type of cup of tea, like at night, chamomile tea, which helps me sleep, you could put a little bit of tincture in it if you wanted to. But to be honest with you, if I was going to have a cup of tea at night and I wanted this in it, I would just add the chamomile. Chamomile is very relaxing and allows your body to sleep so that you can get the rest that you need. Now, there's a lot of other things that I could share with you, but I'm going to keep this kind of brief, and every now and then, maybe I'm going to try once a week to come in and share some of the blends that I use, not necessarily in tea, but some other things that might be resourceful for somebody who's trying to understand Lyme disease. So I hope this was helpful. I hope that you have a great night, and I'm going to go relax and have my cup of tea. Good night, folks, and have a great night, and may God bless you.